Good morning. Happy Friday to you. Welcome back to 4 More Minutes. I am Sam Bailey, the Soul Stir, stirring up your hearts and your minds for God. I want to thank all of you for joining me here today. I appreciate you for joining Monday through Friday. I hope that you've had an outstanding week so far and we're ready to finish up this week on a good note. If you can, please subscribe to the Soul Stir on YouTube, as this is the easiest, quickest, most effective way to share these messages. Today I want to talk about the double bind, B-I-N-D. Sometimes in life, we are good at putting people in what we call a double bind. And that means there's a command that you give, but our response or our reaction to the command puts the person who we give the command to in a sort of contradictory type of position. In other words, I'll give you an example that we ask our children to tell the truth, and then when we tell the truth, we punish them severely or harshly. So what that does is that creates an environment where they associate telling the truth with punishment. And I know you might be upset, I know you might be angry, but you still have not yet learned how to effectively help that child in that situation. So what you do is you put them in what we call a double bind. And I want to let you know today that no matter what you got going on in your life or in your situation, that God will never put you in a double bind. In other words, He will never ask you to do something that goes contrary to His word, or He'll never ask you to do something that you can't do on your own will and under your own power. I think the word says that His commandments are not grievous. In other words, they're really not difficult to do. And they may feel like it, but everything that He causes us to do, everything that He asks us to do is for a reason, for our own good, for our own benefit, for His glory. God will never ask you to give, and that giving or that generosity puts you in a position where you don't have what you need. That's a double bind. God will never ask you to forgive your enemies, and that forgiveness does not release you from some of the emotional bondage and baggage that is there. God will never ask you to do anything that's for your destruction or for your harm. People will do that. But when His word says it, then that settles it. That ought to be the driving force behind what you do and where you go in your life. And so it's important to know today, and we do that often to people, right? We tell people to be transparent with us and be vulnerable with us, only to criticize them for that vulnerability. We tell people to do things all the time, only to show some contradictory behaviors and responses to what it is that they've done. So I pray today that we would stop putting people in that double bind, and learn to let our yay be yay and our nay be nay, to speak honestly with everybody, and to try to be that type of person who means what they say and say what they mean. So that's important today. I know we are good at putting people in situations where they have to make choices between two unfavorable conditions, but sometimes life puts us in those places. But if we just stay with what He says and just stay on focus and stay on track with where He wants us to go, we'll see that even these things turn out for the good, right? Because all things are working together for good. And sometimes I want you to know before I go that bind that you're in is there because you just won't choose the correct way. You just won't choose the right way. And you just won't accept His word for being His word and continue to press on throughout all of those things. So hope you have a great day. Hope you have a dynamic weekend, an outstanding weekend. If the Lord's willing, we'll see you Monday right here on 4 More Minutes. Thank you. God bless. Have a wonderful day.